Hello, this is Mrs. Oakley, and today we're going to look at Unit 1, Lesson 4, Choosing the Best Measure of Center. Now remember, measures of center are the mean, median, mode, and the range. Let's look at a math terminology that we're going to need in this lesson. This is the outlier. An outlier is the value in a data set that is very different from the other data values. Okay, it's going to be different. It may be smaller or it may be bigger. How do we find the outlier? Well, to find the outlier, make a dot plot. Once your dot plot is done, look for any values that are different from the other data values. Let me give you an example, okay? Here are the data values that they have given us. We can clearly see that 24 is different, but I like to make a dot plot because then it makes it very visual for me, and I can make sure I'm right. I'm going to count by twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and that makes 24. Now, I'm going to add a dot for every number. Well, here's my first one, 5. 5 goes between 4 and 6. Going to put a dot there. Done. 7 is between 6 and 8. Done. 1 on top of 2. Done. 5. Let's put another one on 5. Oh, here's one for 12. I got to go 3, which is between 2 and 4. 8. And the last one is 24. Now, sometimes the outlier is very obvious when you look at the numbers. Other times the dot plot helps because I can clearly see that these are all what we call clustered together, and there's a big gap between those and 24. So 24 is our outlier. All right. My screen is being difficult. All right. Why do we need to know about the outlier? Well, the outlier can change the measure of center. It can change the mean, the median, and the mode. So we need to be able to figure out what those are with or without the outlier. So let's start with keeping it in. Okay, let's look at the mean first. We know that we're going to add all these, right? We add. And we add all those, we get 162. Now, there's 9 values, so I'm going to divide that by 9. And when I divide that by 9, it gives me a mean of 18. Okay. Now, to find the median, we're going to put them in order. We're going to say 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, oops, and then 50. There we go. Okay, we can clearly see that 1, 2, 3, 4 here would be our median. So our median is clearly 15. Remember, the mode is the one that repeats the most. The only one that repeats is the 17, so our mode is 17. Now, we've got to find the mean without the outlier. Okay, well, we can clearly see that 50 is the outlier. It's the different one. I could go ahead and add all these numbers without the outlier, or here's a trick. I could just take 162 and subtract the 50. Subtract that outlier out, that gives me 112. Now, I have to divide it by how many I used. Since I didn't use this one, I can't say 9 again. I have to do one less, which is 8. 112 divided by 8 gets me a mean of 14. Well, now that we have 50 out, let's look for the median, which would be these two numbers. So I'm going to add 14 plus 15, which is going to get me 29. And then to find that median, when you have two numbers, you divide it by 2. Okay? When I divide it by 2, it gives me a mean of 14.5. Now, does the mode change? Nope, still 17 no matter what, with or without it, huh? Can you see how the outlier changed it? 18 and 14 are 4 data values apart. 15 and 14.5 aren't that far apart, so it didn't really change it. But boy, did it change it with the mean. Okay, let me clear my page and then we can move on. All right, now let's practice together. Here's a group of data values. Go ahead and find the median with the outlier. When you added all those together, you got 78, and you know that there's 8 values, so you're going to divide that by 8. And when you divide that by 8, that gave you a median of 9.75. Not a median, I meant a mean of 9.75. Now, to find the median, remember, what are we going to do? We're going to put them in order. So we're going to say 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 32. Okay, we have 8 numbers there, so we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4s. Okay, 3 on both sides. 7 plus 8 equals 15. If I divide that by 2, it is going to give me a median of 7.5. Now, looking at these numbers, do I have any that repeat? Nope. So we do not have a mode. Okay, now here we are. We got to do this same mean without the outlier. So I'm going to take 78 and I'm going to subtract the 32. That's going to get me 46. And when I just divide 46, we did divide it by 8 first. I'm going to divide it by 7 this time because I have one less number. And it's going to get me a data value of close to 7. It technically would be 6 point something, 57, blah, blah, blah. I rounded it to 7. Okay. It really is, if we really are being technical, it'd be 6.57, but I went ahead and rounded it for this case because there were more numbers and stuff. Okay, now to find the median, let me erase this circle right here and put 7 and 8 back. So if I did that and I took this number away, 7 would be the middle number. So 7 is the median. Still no mode. So notice it changed a little bit, both of them, didn't it? Okay, great job. All right, now why or how do we know which one to choose? How do we know which is the best center? Well, when choosing the mean as the best measure of center is going to be when there's no outliers. If there's an outlier, this mean is going to change too much, so it will not be the measure of center. Choosing median as the best measure of center is best when there are outliers, okay? Or the middle of the data has no big gaps. So there's no big gaps in it, okay? Now, choosing mode as the best measure of center when the data has many values that repeat. So anytime you have a whole bunch of numbers, like when we had 17, if we had 17 and 17 and 17 and 17, it repeats a lot. So mode's going to be our best measure of center. Let's try this. Let's look here and see. Well, let's see, does this one have an outlier? Huh, there's really not an outlier because 40, oh, wait, I missed it. There is an outlier. And remember when we said there's an outlier? Okay, I'm going to go back a slide for you, see if I can do it. Nope, it won't let me go back. That's not okay. So remember when we talked about it, look at your notes. If there's an outlier, we can't choose mean, but we can choose the median. Anytime there's an outlier, median's the best choice. Good job. Okay, oops, let me clear my screen. There we go. Now, looking at this, these are all close. This one does not have an outlier. It also doesn't have any that repeat. So remember, if it has no repeats, can't be the mode. If it doesn't have an outlier, it can't be the median. So the best set measure of center would be the mean. Great job. Okay, now that you have finished the video for lesson 4, it's time for you to go back to your road map and continue working your way up the map. So go ahead and go back to your class craft. Say that you have finished the video and it'll take you to your practice. All right, see you for lesson 5. Bye.